Well, hi there. I haven't made a hockey video in a while, so I figured I would. Um, if you noticed, I am wearing a brand new Adidas Vancouver Canucks Besser jersey. Picked that up on Boxing Day. It was a good price. Thank you. Anyway, that's not what this video is going to be about. Uh, Unfortunately, I feel the need to delve into the the dark history of the NHL because I wasn't satisfied with the content that was available for it. It is another one of those kind of things the NHL would prefer just went away and people forgot about it. I guess from the business perspective that would make sense, but it sounds really cold and callous, and unacceptable in my opinion. Um, I mean, obviously, there are millennials and things like that would not remember this, and if nobody tells them, they'd never even know. But in 2002, Brittany Sissel was struck in the head with a hockey puck and died. It was a shot from Espen Knutsen. Uh, he has a long Norwegian name, and I don't know how to pronounce it. That was what he was called in the NHL anyway. Basically, there was no netting behind the goals before, just above the glass, which is retarded. I mean, the NHL had been in existence for so long, and they hadn't thought that that was an important thing to do, especially given into consideration that hockey pucks can travel at 100 miles per hour if shot, with any kind of force. Zdeno Chara could destroy the glass behind the goal net. I think they've fixed that a little bit. It doesn't quite shatter as much as it used to, but it's still one of those things. There's a few things about this event that are, they're kind of irritating to read. So when I looked it up, I was a bit pissed off about it actually. She died 2 days after being hit in the temple, and it was obviously the very traumatic thing and very big news in the NHL. The two players involved, Espen Knutsen and Derek Morris, continued to play NHL hockey. Knutsen played for another 2 years before going off to somewhere in Europe, I forget where. And Derek Morris continued playing hockey until 2014. Derek Morris was involved because the puck deflected off him and became a projectile into the stands. In my opinion, none of those players, I don't care who it is, I don't care if it's an accident or not, I'm sure they were very sorry that it happened and wish it didn't. I'm not saying that they weren't, but I don't care what player accidentally does that. I think immediately contract terminated, they're out of the NHL. I mean, obviously the NHL felt differently because Derek Morris went to play on for another 12 years. And it's, really absurd. I'd heard that the deal that was settled out of court for Cecil's family was $1.2 million. What was that? Was that Gary Bettman's pocket change? Like, I don't think the NHL made as much money then as it does now, but $1.2 million wasn't a lot of money even back then. I know in 2005 they saw a revenue of what was it, at least 2 billion, something over 2 billion. So the NHL has deep pockets, and for them to give this pittance, assuming this figure is accurate. I mean, it was settled out of court, so I guess we don't know that aspect of it, but I don't know. If it is just 1.2 million, that's total insult. I mean, you take the example of Todd Bertuzzi and Steve Moore, and when most people offhand get, enraged about something that's happened in the NHL, oddly enough, it's that scene they referred to, the Todd Bertuzzi incident. I've noticed. That's what really people get up in arms about and go, and it's like, Steve Moore, okay, his career ended, but out of court, I mean, that was confidential, but he would have gotten a lot more money than the 1.2 million. He would have gotten, in the tens of millions probably. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think so anyway. Sounds more probable. I think it's things like this that may have influenced the NHL to have a lockout in 2004, 2005. It's just another one of these things where it's, like a serious thing that they try to sweep under the rug, and, it's, things like this, they don't go away, and they never should. Other things obviously happened in around about that time too, like, the Danny Heatley car accident, with Dan Snyder, dying from that. And Danny Heatley was able to, have somewhat of a successful career afterwards. I did say that, the people that were around Danny Heatley would be worse individuals than him, because he just, made a drunken, idiotic mistake. And that's that. But the thing is, it's things like this that make the NHL look stupid. And if you're a fan of the NHL, then you look stupid. I mean, the NHL didn't enforce wearing helmets until after 1979, and if you were playing before that, you didn't have to wear a helmet because of a contract loophole or something like that. And it's like, I don't care who you are, how much money you're making. If you're playing in the NHL, you play by their damn rules. And if they say you gotta wear a helmet, you gotta wear a fucking helmet. And the last player, I don't know if it was Craig McTavish or not, but it was in 1997 was the last hockey player to not wear a helmet. And it's just like the overwhelming risks and problems that can occur don't outweigh a single person's, desire to just not want to wear a helmet. That's just retarded. I mean, civilization's supposed to have come so far, and yet stupid decisions like that are still being made. I looked up on the YouTube to see if there was any press conferences about the Brittany Cecil death, and there isn't. In fact, there's only one video. It was sort of a tribute for her, and it only has like 5,400 views. Not a lot of views, and it has 8 likes, and one of those was from me, and 3 dislikes. I mean, obviously, it's something, NHL just wants it to go away, and bringing it up will actually piss people off, because they'll have all this bravado and arrogance and attitude, like they know better than some country bumpkin like myself and things like that. All that considered, it's still hush hush, and it's still those people that'll get in your face and get all angry with you, who are making it hush hush. And that's the business side, that's the capitalist side, that's the corporation side, and that's the the fuck them side. Like, I don't care how serious or how mad you get. If you're trying to sweep it under the rug for the sake of profits and for maintaining a better image of the NHL, then fuck you. And Gary Bettman was the commissioner since 1993. He was there. Why didn't he get kicked out? Why didn't he get kicked out? I mean, he's still the commissioner. And, okay, maybe that aspect of putting netting behind the goal net Just didn't occur to him, and it was an honest mistake. But he damn well should have known better, because that, a fucking Neanderthal could have fucking looked at that and went, this isn't right. The way this is structured, it's, something could happen. And things still happen. Pucks just find their way through, camera holes and other things. People have been, hit by pucks. Nobody's died since then. Good. But, it could happen again. And they say what they've done to counter this is some arenas on the scoreboard have a watch out for flying objects and things like that. They have, when the beginning announcements are, they mention it, it's on the back of your ticket and things like that. But, it's not really enough. I could foresee something, horrible happening again. Because they don't want to change too much. They don't want things to be different. And they don't want to bring attention to it. And unfortunately, it looks like one of those things, if, somebody doesn't make a video about it, like myself, I'm sure there's got to be other people who have, it might just get forgotten about. And that would be real horrible thing. I know some people have looked at, some of the videos I've made when I've, talked about dark parts of history and things like that, and going, oh, this guy's cold, he's callous, look at him talking about this, like that. But, I'm shedding light on something that looks as though it's getting on the way of being forgotten. And I think that, it's an important thing. And I, just really would prefer that, something like this didn't happen, but, obviously nothing can be done about it. But, if you're going to talk about the NHL, you should be able to talk about anything, I think. And I may not have the wit and brains of somebody like the hockey guy who knows all these things that happened, but I saw that he deliberately left this part out. There isn't a single video he's made where he's talked about this subject, and maybe that is for the sake of, getting sponsored, getting views, and therefore selling out for the almighty dollar. Because the closest he came to mentioning it, from what I've gone through his videos, is when he was talking about the history of hockey clubs. He did one for each team, and when he talked about Columbus, he actually mentioned the year 2001, 2002, but he mentioned that was when their highest attendance record was. And, I went, did he not mention that because he didn't want to damage his YouTube channel and his ability to have views and subscribers? Did he compromise? Did he not know? I find that very hard to believe that he wouldn't know. Or did he mention the attendance record to say, look, I know, but I'm not really supposed to say, or is this video is not going to get sponsored and therefore I'm not going to make money? I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's a question he would answer if you asked him. It's just, yeah, I wanted to state, in my opinion, Derek Morris, I'm very glad he never put on a Vancouver Canucks jersey. Automatically should have been kicked out of the NHL. Any money he felt he was owed should be gone. And same thing for Knutson as well. I mean, it was an accident, but it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Excuses are excuses. And, zero tolerance, as anyone should expect. And it's just, it's spooky because it wasn't that long ago. 2002 was, about just over 15 years ago. So that's not that long ago. I mean, there are other corporations, businesses where, fucked up things have happened too, like Disneyland and things like that. Other amusement park type things with roller coasters and things like that. And obviously a whole lot of other industries. So anyway, yeah, I think there's not much else to be said. Well, yeah, I guess I'll leave it at this. Anyway, talk to you guys later.